Are there options on OJ? And the answer is yes. The reason you don't hear about them a lot on the network is because they don't trade at CME, they trade at ICE. And another reason we don't talk about them is that they're not the most liquid. I'm looking at the July chain here as we're talking, and you have OI and some of the strikes that gets into 100 plus contracts. I see 223 here on the put side for obvious reasons, but it's not the most liquid of products, pun intended. Carly, do you sling any OJ over there?
We very, very rarely touch OJ for that exact reason. Now, the option liquidity is actually even worse than what you think it is by looking at the open interest and the volume, because a lot of that open interest, for example, you mentioned there's 100 and something open in one particular strike. That's probably one trader doing 100 lot as a hedge or something.
Yeah, it's one customer and he's the market.
Exactly. And so the bid-ask spread at any given time during the day, if you look at it, pull up an option chain in orange juice, it's either blank, there's no bids or asks, or if there are bids or asks, they're so insanely wide that you honestly just shut it down and go look at something else. And even the futures contract itself is very illiquid. The bid-ask spread on the futures contract, not the option, but the actual futures contract can be, I've seen it in more volatile situations like what we saw over the last, let's say December, January, when it was in free fall. There were times I looked and the bid-ask spread on the futures was 8 to 10 points. So it's just almost untradeable. To be honest, in the past, what we've done is if we really think there's a extraordinary opportunity, we might buy a put or buy a call with limited risk and just play it as some sort of a flyer. But for retail traders, it's just not a market to go big in my opinion. And as you mentioned, it trades on the ICE exchange. A couple drawbacks on that. The market hours are abbreviated. They're kind of odd market hours, to be honest. And it's hard to get I take it back. It's not hard to get live data. It's expensive to get live data. Anybody that wants live data on orange juice or anything that trades on the softs has to pay $140 plus New York sales tax a month per device. So it's very expensive. So most retail traders just go to CME products, leave the ICE products out. And so that's why you see the liquidity issues.